This is The Wire for 2200 Zulu, September 10th, 2024. Precedence is routine. Information cutoff is 2100. Bottom line up front. Ukraine continues long-range attacks on Russia. UK Parliament votes against measure to stop the axing of winter fuel payment. Search for interstate gunmen in Kentucky continues. Beginning with international events, in Russia, Ukraine conducted another significant drone attack on Moscow, resulting in the death of one woman. Russia claims to have downed 144 drones in varying regions of Russia overnight. Analysts comment. This continues the increase in long-range attacks by Ukraine as their options have become limited by their own advance in Kursk. Over the past few months and weeks, the attacks carried out by Ukraine on obviously civilian structures, such as residential apartment buildings, have also become more common. In the United Kingdom, this afternoon a snap vote in the House of Commons resulted in a majority of MPs voting to cut this year's winter fuel payment for most of the country as part of budgetary constraints. As of this vote, the cuts to the program will go ahead. On the home front in Kentucky, the search for interstate shooting suspect Joseph Couch continues in the vicinity of Exit 49 of I-75. Schools remain closed and local authorities continue to urge locals to remain vigilant. At least 3 of the victims remain in critical condition as a result of the attack. Analyst comments for this wire. As the search area for Joseph Couch is located in extremely rugged and remote terrain, significant challenges remain in locating him. Additionally, some details released by authorities indicate that he had initially planned to conduct the attack, then take his own life. If he did follow through on the final part of his plan, locating his body will be very difficult and might not happen anytime soon. Aerial assets are not particularly helpful in locating a single person through extremely thick overhead canopy, and in rugged terrain require being almost directly over the target. Thermal imaging is helpful to a degree, but also not as helpful as one might imagine in thick vegetation or in situations where the target is no longer producing a heat signature. Local media is highlighting Couch's prior military service as a means of insinuating that he is a Rambo-like figure. However, considering the likely domestic incident that led up to this attack, it's not likely that Couch has made preparations for evading capture in the long term. In the United Kingdom, though a foreign concept for Americans, the winter fuel payment is a well-known governmental benefit relied upon by British pensioners or retirees as a means of helping elderly citizens with winter heating costs. As energy costs in the United Kingdom are known to be a major concern for low-income elderly citizens, this benefit is a big deal throughout the British Isles and has become even more critical due to the extreme costs of energy that have fallen upon the European continent due to the Ukrainian war. As such, any effort to restrict this benefit is usually the end of one's political career due to this benefit being a critical part of British culture. Historically, this is simply not a benefit to trifle with politically as far as citizens are concerned. However, over the past few months of Prime Minister Starmer's government, this benefit has been on the chopping block almost in its entirety, with only a handful of people remaining eligible for the benefit as of this year. This afternoon, Conservative MPs attempted to call a vote to halt the axing of this program, a vote which failed 348 to 228. As this vote was not even close, plans to cut this benefit for most people probably will go ahead. Labour MPs are probably riding on the recent pay raise given to the state pension program to help lessen the blow. However, these complexities are unlikely to matter much to the average taxpayer. More broadly, this is yet another major milestone in Britain's rough political landscape, and is likely to result in even more anti-government sentiment. Cutting the winter fuel payment would have been a groundbreaking scandal in its own right, but considering the context of anti-government sentiment throughout Britain, this adds more fuel to the fire. Throughout the history of governance itself, when a government is facing domestic troubles and a very dissatisfied population, cutting social programs is usually the last thing that's recommended. It's generally ill-advised to target the long-standing social benefits of vulnerable populations when the populace at large is already holding torches and pitchforks. As if the average indigenous Briton could not be more furious at their own government, Parliament going after pensioners is likely to make the situation worse all around, regardless of political ideology or affiliation. This concludes The Wire for 2200 Zulu, September 10th, 2024.